'Tis the day after Christmas, and over on Netflix, Stranger Things fans have gotten their fix. A bunch of stuff happened in Season 5, Volume 2, and I've got my thoughts right now for you. This video is brought to you by HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/DanMurrell10FM right now to get 10 free meals plus a free breakfast for life. And stay tuned after the video for more info. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my spoiler thoughts on the second volume of Stranger Things' 5th season. There's just one more episode to go, the series finale, which comes out next week on New Year's Eve because nobody has anything to do that night, right? I will be going into specifics in this review about the plot, so if you haven't seen the latest 3 episodes of Stranger Things, go watch those right now, come back, and let's dive deep as the end game approaches.
The demos, the Mind Flayer, all of it, gone. Game, set, match.
If you'll recall, I was pretty mixed on the first batch of episodes of Season 5, but I thought that the 4th episode was the highlight of that bunch. The good news is that I liked this batch of episodes overall a lot better, mainly because it got into a lot of the character relationships that I felt were either neglected or maybe stuck in a rut over those first 4 episodes. The bad news is that I thought that these episodes still had a lot of the weaknesses from that first part, mainly a lot of exposition scenes and a lot of instances of characters suddenly figuring something out in order to do an exposition scene, but that's just how the Duffers have decided to deal with all of this plot. Luckily, the show's beating heart took the stage a lot more this time around, so I was annoyed by all of that other stuff a lot less. Let's go back to where we left off, with Will Byers having freshly used his mind powers to control a pack of Demogorgons and save his friends. I was really happy that the show had finally given Will something to do, but in a very Will Byers-like turn, he was shortly captured by Vecna again, used as a spy again, unconscious for a long time again, and crying a lot again. However, this is not where the series left him, and that's a good thing because there was a big Will scene at the end of episode 7, and before he was captured, we did get a really cool scene of Will invading Vecna's mind to save Holly and Max, and even speaking through Vecna, and I liked that scene a lot. But the major development with Will was the scene that the show's been building up to for a while now, which is his coming out scene. Now, I want to say up top that I love the intention of this scene, and I think that it was well acted by Noah Schnapp. It has a very powerful message about the damage that can be done by hiding who you are, and how the fear of being rejected can cause someone to run from who they are, and how that fear can be far worse than opening up. I love the intention, but I do think that the execution was a bit odd. When the scene first began, I thought that it was going to be a very intimate scene between Will and Joyce, which really feels appropriate. Joyce is the person closest to Will, and the fear of losing her would be palpable to him. Then Mike walked in, and I thought, okay, well, you know what? It actually makes sense if Mike's here too. He's Will's best friend, and he's his unrequited crush, and that's been a major plot point. But then Will just threw the door open to everybody, and I thought that it was a comically large group. Like Dustin and Lucas, absolutely makes sense. Jonathan, of course, that's his brother, and I have to say that Charlie Heaton's acting in that scene was really good. You could feel the sadness and the happiness that he felt for his brother at the same time. Max, okay, yeah, sure, they're close. 11, she's part of the group, fine. Robin, yeah, okay, she's been a mentor to him. Nancy, sure, I mean, I guess since Jonathan and Mike are there. Steve, yeah. Vicky, I mean, I don't think they've ever spoken, but maybe she could relate. But Murray? Collie? I mean, I appreciate Will's courage, but I do think that this might have had more impact with just the key players. I know that there was no desire to make this a comedy beat, but if you were going to make a parody of this scene, I think it would have been funny if Will was trying to just come out to Joyce, and then Mike walks in and he's like, okay, yeah, sure, you can stay. And then he starts over again, and then one other person walks in and he's like, yeah, okay, you can stay too. And then one by one, they keep getting interrupted until you have that big group there. Again, it doesn't undercut the message of the scene, but I thought it was a bit comical how many people were actually posted up listening to him. I'm also a little worried that Will's sexuality has been overcorrected into being his defining characteristic. It unlocked his power in the first batch of episodes. It has him ready to fight with 11 at the end of this one. I feel like it was built up so much that the Duffers might be putting too much importance on it now, but it is a positive development for Will, and I think it can have a lot of meaning and do some good to some of the folks watching at home. So I can't really knock it that much. Also, just kind of a side note, I was not aware until literally last night when I saw some of the reactions to that final episode that there is a large, very vocal group of fans who believe that the show has been setting up Will and Mike to end up together at the end of the series, and that some people still think that that's going to happen. And I guess that there were some folks who were even angry because they thought that the show had explicitly hinted that Will and Mike are going to be a couple. I never really picked up on that, but I guess it's a thing. You learn something new every day. So across these 3 episodes, we also got pretty much all the details on what the Upside Down is and what Vecna is up to. Sometimes these big reveals can be disappointing or confusing, especially when you're retconning stuff from before. But I think that it actually holds up pretty well. Vecna's domain is actually a completely separate world, which is termed the Abyss. That's where he was banished to by 11. The Upside Down is a wormhole between the Abyss and Hawkins that connects the two. And Vecna plans to merge the Abyss and our world using the kidnapped children by unleashing their innate abilities to connect those two worlds, which would basically result in the destruction of Hawkins and the planet as we know it. Will has already proven that this can be done back in Season 2 when he was Vecna's spy by using his mind to grow the vines beneath Hawkins and reopen the portal to the Upside Down. You know what? Okay, I'll go with it. The one major piece of lore that hasn't really been brought up yet is the Mind Flayer. And the Mind Flayer was such a massive part of the earlier seasons that I can't imagine that they are going to go through the series finale and not mention it at all. So I would wager that the Mind Flayer is going to play a somewhat major role in the showdown that we're going to get next week, but we'll see what happens. We also get a peek into Vecna's mind as Max and Holly attempted to escape his mind prison, aka Camazotz. I was intrigued by the memory they found, where a young Henry encountered a scientist in a cave and got shot at. It was a memory so traumatic that that cave became Max's hideout because Henry was too traumatized to face it. I thought that it was set up for the finale, but I found out later that I guess this was a reference to the Stranger Things stage play, The First Shadow, which explains Henry/Vecna's origins. I guess anybody who's not able to buy a ticket to see that show might be out of luck if they want more info about that, because I don't see how they could go into it more in the finale, or maybe they will, and maybe that's why it's going to be 2 hours long. I do have to say that Holly's method of finding this cave by lining up the eyepiece of the spyglass up with the opening in the cave was just a little too much Rise of Skywalker for me, with Rey and her Death Star-shaped dagger. Speaking of Max and Holly, they did eventually find their way out of Camazotz, although not before Max got her first taste of a younger generation not appreciating your favorite music. Get used to it.
I don't have Kate Bush. I don't even know who Kate Bush is.
You don't need Kate Bush to get out of here.
Max woke up in Lucas's arms, and that reunion was worth the wait. I've said before that I think that Caleb McLaughlin really shines when he gets his moments in the spotlight, and his emotional release when Max came back was genuinely touching. I also think that Sadie Sink did a great job in episode 6 when she gave Holly the pep talk that she needed in order to find her escape, reminding her that she had already taken so many heroic actions.
You saved me, Holly Wheeler. You saved me.
Nell Fisher as Holly also did a great job in that episode, and when she returned to Vecna's group of captured kids. I'm sad that her resistance obviously left her in a weakened state and susceptible to being part of Vecna's ritual. We also learned that Kate Bush wasn't really the key to getting Max back from Vecna's prison. It was more about tangible connections to the real world, which would have been good for Lucas to know before playing that song almost got him, Max, Robin, and Vicky eaten by a bunch of demo dogs, stalking them like the raptors in Jurassic Park. Luckily, Mrs. Wheeler saved the day by incinerating them with the old oxygen tank in the dryer trick. It was a great hero moment for Cara Buono's character, and Mike made sure that his mother knew how thankful he was that she'd saved them all. But I'd like to remind the Wheelers and everyone else on this show once again that Mr. Wheeler does exist and did also try to protect his family. I mean, his name isn't even mentioned in this group of episodes. Poor guy. Because the group needed more help than ever, a few more people got brought into the circle of trust when it came to Vecna and the Upside Down, and my favorite was Mr. Clark, the gang's beloved AV advisor. I mean, just think about it. 1 minute you're sleeping with the school librarian, the next you've just learned about alternate dimensions under the town and psychokinetic powers and wormholes. But Mr. Clark took it like a champ, building a balloon-based antenna system to find Dustin and hacking military gate codes like a pro, all while dropping science knowledge and Lord of the Rings references. I sincerely hope that Mr. Clark makes it out alive because the children of Hawkins need him, and not just to save them from Vecna. I said in my last review that I hoped that Dustin and Steve Harrington would make up before the series was over, and we saw things between the two of them get much worse and then much better. They actually came to blows when Steve insulted the memory of Eddie Munson, saying that he died because he stupidly got himself killed, but the two reconciled when Dustin begged Steve not to risk his life to get to Nancy and Jonathan because he couldn't bear to lose his best friend again.
Please, if you go on there, you're gonna die, and I can't deal with it again. You can't die because I can't deal with it again. Don't let it happen again.
That scene was actually really moving and well acted by Gaten Matarazzo and Joe Keery. But boy, do I get bad vibes from that You Die, I Die pact they made. I just see this ending in heartbreak. I hope that I'm wrong because I love these two best buds and they just made up. These are the two I'm hoping have a happy future together after the series. Platonically, of course.
I miss my best friend. Yeah, I miss my best friend too.
Nancy and Jonathan found themselves trapped in a melting room, which is a pretty cool set piece, after accidentally activating a bunch of exotic matter in the Upside Down, and this was another really good character scene. Thinking they were about to die, they confessed that they hadn't really been honest with each other, and instead of a cheap sentimental proposal, which I thought is where we were headed, Jonathan acknowledged that he was only going to propose as a desperate ploy to bring him and Nancy closer together after their shared trauma had kept them distant from each other. I thought that this was a really well-acted scene, and after watching the episode, I took this as a conversation about a mature acknowledgement on both of their parts that their relationship still needed a lot of work. But I guess the Duffers have clarified that it means that Nancy and Jonathan are actually broken up now. Maybe that'll be clearer to me on rewatch. Regardless, don't look for Nancy to run to Steve Harrington, as she's apparently not on board with birthing 6 Junior Steve or Stevettes into the world. Then we have 11 and her long-lost sister, Kali. I gotta say, I'm getting weird vibes from Kali. Her insistence that she and 11 have to die and allow themselves to be destroyed with the Upside Down feels less noble and more sinister to me, like there's an agenda here that has yet to be revealed. I don't know. The basis of this death wish is the revelation that it was Henry's blood that actually turned her and 11 and all the other kids into what they are, and that as long as anyone with Henry's blood in their veins is alive, the military will keep trying to produce babies with powers and keep opening portals. Although Dr. K seems more focused on fighting the Soviets with Demogorgons. I guess her unit is an offshoot of James Remar's unit from Welcome to Derry.
We'd have those monsters in Moscow where they'd be killing Soviets instead of Americans.
By the way, I'm still pretty disappointed with how underutilized Linda Hamilton and Dr. K have been this season. The character has yet to be more than just a generic evil military commander, and I'd hope that they give Linda Hamilton something more to do. I don't know, maybe they're saving it for the finale. I see Kali's point about dying to end the cycle of experiments and death, but something just seems fishy. I will say that the visual of Kali finding rooms of pregnant women being given her blood to try to birth super babies was disturbing, so maybe it just radically altered her worldview. But she obviously has a big part to play, or at least I hope she does, because her return hasn't really amounted to a whole lot so far. So now we have all the pieces in place to the finale. The gang is in the Upside Down where they plan to launch Steve's Beanstalk plan and enter the Abyss when it gets close enough to the radio tower for them to enter through the sky while the worlds are merging. I loved Hopper's annoyance at the gang shooting down his helicopter idea, saying it was too stupid to work.
How's this pilot gonna fly a chopper into the rift?
We just fly through it.
What?
Idiot.
Just fly through it?
These rotors are like 40 feet wide.
Kali, Will, and 11 are planning to team up to defeat Vecna in his mind, while Kali's plan is to die in the Upside Down with 11 as it disintegrates. And that disintegration will happen via a planned explosive charge at the Upside Down Hawkins lab, which will destabilize the exotic matter and destroy the wormhole once and for all. This is actually the first time I can remember in a while where a show is setting up an actual diegetic needle drop for the climax. Mike and Robin were arguing about which records should be used to trigger the explosive, and I'm guessing that it won't be Mike's preferred choice of the Butthole Surfers.
Pick a good record.
This is a great record.
But as far as Save the World soundtracks goes,
Naturally, it's highly unlikely that this plan is going to go off without a hitch. It's highly likely that there are going to be some deaths and a lot of heartache, but we won't know until next week. What do you think? Did you like this batch of episodes better? What did you think of Will's big coming out moment? Are you happy that Dustin and Steve are BFFs again? What are your predictions for the finale? Let me know down in the comments below. And before we go, I want to thank the sponsor for this review, HelloFresh. It's Christmas this week, which means you're probably hosting people at your house or cooking for a potluck or maybe just traveling. And the last thing you want to do after all that's over is to go shopping for your own meals. So why not let HelloFresh take care of all of that, delivering fresh ingredients and great recipes right to your door? HelloFresh is the #1 meal kit in America, and their menu has doubled in size, bringing you 100 options each week, including recipes from around the world. Their week after Christmas menu includes 1-pan pineapple salsa chicken tacos. I've made HelloFresh's tacos before, and they're delicious. And for the first week of 2026, you can start off your New Year's resolution with an all-kale chicken Caesar salad or enjoy barbecue cheddar pork burgers. When it comes to cooking, I'm generally what the French call les incompetents, but the recipes for HelloFresh are foolproof, and when I say foolproof, I mean the fool is me. The recipes are easy to read, the ingredients are all right there, and the cook time is usually less than 30 minutes, which means that you can get a great, fresh, home-cooked meal fast and kick back and relax to end 2025, or maybe after you spend a little too much time and effort ringing in 2026. And if you're looking to eat better in 2026, 91% of HelloFresh's customers say that they feel healthier when they eat with HelloFresh. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/DanMurrell10FM right now to get 10 free meals plus a free breakfast for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/DanMurrell10FM to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this review, and thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned right here for my review of the series finale next week. But between now and then, I'll also have box office from the Christmas weekend and a big video, my biggest video ever, a physical media collection video. It was a big request to celebrate my 1,000th video uploaded, and it turns out that me going through every movie in my physical media collection takes about 4 hours. So I'll be releasing my longest video ever this weekend, and I would love to see you, bookmark that. You don't have to watch it all at once, but it is kind of a fun video. Thanks for spending time, though, with this video. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.